Come on, we haven't got all day here. Did you get them?
I got 'em.
Good. We need to move.
What's your problem? This isn't anything we haven't done before. We'll be long gone before the cops even find the body.
I'm not worried about the cops.
Oh, I see. You're worried about him. Been reading the papers? Got you all spooked? Got you scared in your little boots?
Shut it, it's not a joke.
No, it is. We just gave a guy lead brain surgery, and you're worried a vampire's gonna bust us.
It isn't human. I heard it from Bill that it took out 7 guys last week.
Well, if Bill says so, it must be true.
Seriously, shut it. You really don't believe that something's out there?
I think the cops might want you to think there's something out there. Gotham's built on ghost stories. My family has lived here for 8 generations. 8! And believe me, there's always something. Witches, owls, you name it. None of them were real. Especially not some demon man out to fight crime. This is real. The jobs, getting enough money to get by, it's all we've got. Paul? Paul, where'd you go? Get the hell away from me! You hear me, you freak? You're not getting me! This isn't real. This can't be real.
8 generations, and all of them were too scared to warn you about me.
Wait! I'll talk! Please, I'll talk! No, Mother of God, please, I swear! Ah!
Look, I think it's an open and shut case. Adolf's his dad to get the inheritance. Ace Chemicals, for all it's worth, is still worth something. Seen dozens of cases like it.
Jesus, Harvey.
Captain, we found him holding the knife. You don't get more clear than that. I ain't exactly celebrating, but we both know this town. The rot seeps into your bones.
Look, let's just talk to him on the record, see what his side of this is.
Yeah. Sometimes you just need to let things go, Jimmo.
Hi. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm Captain Jim Gordon, but you can just call me Jim, if you prefer. And this is Detective Bullock.
Hey.
Hello?
I'm going to need to ask you a few questions, son. On the record. Is that okay?
Yes, that's okay.
What's your name?
Theodore Lambert Jr., but everyone calls me Ted.
That's fine. Now, Ted, can you tell me exactly what happened earlier today?
I can do that, sir. I had been playing with my friends. We were making plans to go on a trip this weekend.
Where were you heading?
Metropolis. I've never been, and they say there's a sense of freedom there.
It's in the wind. I understand. Not a lot of freedom in your life?
It's gotten better. getting older brings more responsibility, which is nice. I'm almost 13 years of age.
Oh, jeez.
Sorry. So, you weren't at the house. Are you able to describe how you found your father?
I decided to go home to ask my father if I could borrow some money. I usually have an allowance, but for a trip, I thought it might be better just to have a little extra just in case. When I approached the staircase, I heard a noise. Then the sound of glass shattering. I rushed to see if father had fallen or dropped his wine glass, but when I opened the door, he was...
It's okay, son. It's not something any boy should have to see.
I didn't know what to do. I felt dizzy. My chest hurt. If my chest hurt, father's must have been... I didn't want that, so I grabbed the knife and pulled it out of his heart, praying it wasn't too late. It was silly, I know, but he was my father, and I just sat there, holding it, looking out the shattered window, and then you came in, sir.
You must understand why that means we have to keep you here until this is all cleared up. It's a damning image.
You need to believe me, sir. I loved my father. He took care of me all on his own. I would never do anything to hurt him.
I want to believe you, son, but you just need to trust us to work all of this out. If you're innocent, holding you here will keep you safe if the perp that killed your father decides they want to take you out, too.
Oh, I see.
Captain, we just got a call in. Another homicide. One of Lambert's business partners, Stephen Crane.
Damn it, did we get any other suspects?
2 of them. Found them at the scene.
Wait, we caught him?
Not exactly, sir. We think it was him, again.
Christ. This has more to it than I thought. See what you can get out of them. Hopefully these ones aren't too terrified to talk.
On it, sir.
You caught them. Does this mean you'll let me go? Am I safe?
Kid, I don't know what to tell you. This could be something. It might not be.
Ted, did your father work with anyone else? Prominent figures at Ace Chemicals, like Mr. Crane?
I usually stayed clear of father's business work. It was very personal to him.
Nothing at all? No friends coming over to play cards?
There was Mr. Stryker. He and father were quite close. He was the only person I ever saw father smile with.
Alfred Stryker?
Yes, I believe so.
All right, get your coat, son. Detective, you're with me. This is going to be a long night.
Ugh, as if tonight couldn't get any worse.
Stryker? Stryker! Where the hell are you? I didn't come all the way back to the plant tonight just to stand in pitch blackness. What's this urgent business even about?
Mistake ever investing in this godforsaken place.
Stryker! I'm leaving if you don't come out in the next 5 minutes. You do realize some of us have lives.
Apologies, my good man.
About time. What were you doing over there?
I was fiddling away at some of the equipment here. Fascinating stuff, really. This old place really isn't as rundown as they say, huh? It's seen better days, of course. But with just a few touch-ups, we could be back in the game.
I think we should just sell this thing and be done with it. I'd assume that's what you wanted to talk to me about. Theodore would never be game for it, but if we got Crane on board, he'd have to go along with it.
Actually, I don't think we have to worry about that.
Why? Did you talk to him already?
You sure he'll be here?
Father and Stryker loved this place. Loved. If he's not at home, he'll be here working late.
I don't know how he could stand the smell.
We're going inside.
Are you sure I shouldn't be at the station or something?
If my hunch on all of this is right, then I want you by my side at all times.
What? Oh, my head. Wait. What the hell is going on here? Stryker! Untie me! This is ridiculous!
Apologies, old friend. It really didn't have to be this way if only you hadn't been so stubborn. At the very least, I can show you one of the fascinating little devices just left lying around this place. What you're in right now is an experimental gas chamber.
Gas? Stryker, you're out of your mind! Why are you doing this?
This place is special to me. It's all I have. I can't see it sold or run into the ground by a lack of cohesive vision. I do hope you understand.
Please, I'll give you what you want. Money, favors, you can have my shares. Just let me out.
We could have settled this peacefully years ago. I'm afraid I've just run out of patience. Once the glass casing lowers around you, it'll be done. Wait, what? What is that thing?
It's the devil. Oh Lord, I'm to die and the devil is charging towards me to take my soul.
You're not going to die. Your soul is another matter.
No. Is this? Yes, I know you! The legendary Batman! To think such a creature is actually real. And it's a fool! You've just killed yourself by entering that chamber. The glass surrounding you is reinforced. There is no way out.
I'm so sorry. I don't want to die here. Please forgive me.
Hold your breath.
That's impossible. No man could do that!
Take these.
Wait, these are...
They will ensure the man who did this to you will not escape punishment.
Did you hear that? Someone's here.
Up there! On the walkway!
It's Stryker and the frickin' bat!
Stay back! Stay back! You won't take this from me!
It's over. Your hitman and the contracts they stole told me everything I needed to know. Killing partners to take control of the company. What happens next, you've brought upon yourself.
They didn't have any vision. They would have sold it and tore it down years of our lives!
Crane, Rogers, maybe. But you had to have someone on your side to keep them from doing it for all these years. So why kill the one on your side? Why take out Lambert?
What? Lambert's dead. No, that doesn't. I didn't.
That railing isn't going to hold, Stryker. Calm down!
He was my friend. I was going to build it back up together with him, like we always talked about. Now it's all for nothing. Whoa! Whoa! Ah!
Fitting end.
Freeze, you freak! What the hell is that thing? Never seen anything move like that. You get any of that, Jimbo?
Yeah. All of it.
The police. Oh, thank God. Did he send you?
No one sent us. Are you all right, sir?
Yes. Thanks to the Batman. He... he told me to give you these.
Wait, the bat saved you?
These contracts would be what we needed to put Stryker away, though judging by what's left of his body, I don't think they mean much. The only thing left now is you, Ted.
Me?
Jimbo, we solved the case. You were right. It was that nut job.
I don't think a man jumps into acid over a lie. Stryker really had no idea about your father's death, didn't he, Ted? And if he didn't kill your father, I think we both know who did.
No,
You tried to cover it. Smash the window, make it look like someone broke in, didn't try to run. But I've been on the force a long time, and if the first thing a kid mentions his dad doing is related to a wine glass, I make sure to see if he's hiding bruises.
I didn't mean it. I didn't. It was an accident. I just wanted Dad to stop hitting me. For once.
I know, son. We'll figure this out. I have to thank you, Mr. Wayne. Commissioner Loeb's not thrilled about you taking an interest, but with your lawyers, Ted's going to have a chance at getting the help he needs. That poor boy. I can't imagine what would have happened if he was on his own. I have to be frank. From your reputation, I figured you'd be more likely to spend that kind of cash on a new car instead.
It's the least I could do. Besides, I have plenty of cars already. I don't pretend to understand the boy's hardships, but I am familiar with feeling a lack of control of the world around you. I know what it's like to want to force it to make sense.
It's the city. There's just so much chaos just bubbling under the surface. People hold tight on what little they have, lashing out. Some days, the things I see out there, I can understand it.
I wouldn't worry yourself. I find going with the flow quite freeing. Besides, it's like you say, there isn't a soul in Gotham who keeps control in this city.
Maybe. Lately, I've been wondering if there is. It's late. Thank you again for your time, Mr. Wayne.
It's no trouble. Have a safe journey, Captain.
Hello everyone, I hope you've enjoyed the first episode of Echoes of the Night. This behind the scenes series will be a after episode kind of special where we'll have chats with the cast and crew who worked on this project. The only way we could ever open up this series would be with the Dark Knight himself, the Caped Crusader, the one and only, our Batman, Rob Moira.
Hey, what's happening? Thanks for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. The question I'm going to be asking everyone as we go through this series, but I think is most pertinent to you. Before going into the nitty-gritty of the role itself, what has been your experience with the Batman character as a fan?
Oh, wow. So I've been a fan of Batman since the animated series. So we're going back, almost 30 years now. And I started watching the animated series. I watched the Michael Keaton movies. The first movie I actually ever saw in a movie theater was Batman Returns. That was the first movie I ever got to see. So, Batman, he's been in my life since forever. And growing up with him and the comics, having the toys, seeing his movies has been just an amazing part of my upbringing because of what he means and how realistic he was as a hero, I think is probably the thing that stood out the most of me because he wasn't a superhero. He was somebody that was human. Now, granted, he was superhumanly rich, but but he was still just a man, and what he lived for and how he operated and why he became the Batman are such relatable things as a person. Like, granted, nobody can ever express the same level of wanting to do vengeance as much as him because of what happened to him, obviously, but you understand it. It is something that we can relate to. And he's been so many different colors. He's been funny with the very odd um, Batman and Robin movie, or the Batman Forever movies. He's been amazingly serious and realistic with the Nolan trilogy. He's been campy with some of the cartoons, and he's just an amazing character. He overall, like, while some people find him to be easily one note, I definitely don't think he actually is. I think he has a lot of color to him. And I think that's amazing. I think he's been great. And of course, a lot of that is attributed also to the actors that have had the pleasure and fortune to play Batman. So kudos to every actor who's had the chance to wear the cowl at some point. I feel like they've all added something to him. And that's great. It adds to the mystique of who he is and how people interpret him.
And now we can add you to those hallowed halls, which kind of segues directly to my next question. How did you find moving from appreciating Batman as an onlooker to actually having to play the character as an actor?
It's interesting because you have to really find that, and it's funny because it's not necessarily a duality. There's kind of like like he has three different personas to a capacity to him, especially in this project, because he has the face that he puts on for the outside world as rich Bruce Wayne, the head of Wayne Corp, and he also has the more vulnerable Bruce Wayne that only speaks to Alfred. And that's the one that's probably the most raw and the one that's most in tune with his own flaws and his own frustrations. It's where he's probably most at home in his feelings. And then there's Batman, who is the Dark Knight. He is a symbol, a figure of fear and revenge and protection of his city. So knowing that as the character really helps you kind of get into the headspace as an actor of where he should be, and how he should sound and how he should conduct himself. And, if you saw me in my booth, one thing that I do is anytime I recorded, I always did it at night. I never record my Batman lines during the day.
That's fantastic.
I only record at night, and pretty late at night, which is funny because I usually work during the day recording, my other voice actor, jobs that I do. But this is one that I purposely keep to only record at night because it puts me in the headspace of who Batman is. It's the only character. It's the only project I've ever worked on where when I am voicing Batman, I turn the lights off in my booth. I'm in complete darkness except for my screen and my microphone, and that's the only light that I have in my booth, because it puts me in that place of who he is as that symbol, and it does help me reach down into my heavier tone and heavier voice and mentality that he needs to be in, as opposed to Bruce, where I'll turn on the lights and be a little bit more upbeat, and
you'll have like a glass of wine in one hand.
Exactly. So I do have to kind of do things for myself to get into it. It's not just change my voice. There's definitely a lot more that goes into it to make sure that when I voice it, you feel that while he is the same guy, he does have separate personalities to a capacity.
Mm-hmm. And throughout the season, the audience will get to see a little bit more of those different sides, because given the pilot episode, and this is kind of the trend that's going on forward, and I'm curious to see what you think about this, is we kind of play up Batman more as that horror movie figure, where he's not always around, but when he shows up, everyone around him, like, is absolutely
Freaks out.
terrified.
Yes, yes, and that actually really helps. You know, when you read the script, and I see how the other characters react to his presence, that adds a boldness to Batman, because he knows he's an imposing figure, and he knows that people are still kind of questioning not so much who he is, but what he actually is. Some people think he's a man, while others still might think he's something supernatural or something completely different, something out of this world. And it definitely helps in voicing him and the tone that I want to do. Because even when you hear me do Batman, you'll hear that it's not a one note delivery per se. It's always in my lower register, but there are certain times where you'll hear me go just that much lower when he's being threatening or menacing. And then, being able to read the next line of or oh no, or get away definitely helps.
It gives you kind of that, like, if you're in the middle of the
Yeah, like,
darkness in the
oh.
room, I can imagine it's just like very easy to put yourself in the headspace.
Exactly. So it's awesome. So it's really cool. I mean, the writing overall, I think, was fantastic, because for everybody, it really is in for a treat, because just reading the script, it is already so it paints such a fantastic picture already, and that's just words on a page. And being able to give those words life, myself and the other actors involved, I think is just absolutely fantastic, and it's going to add such a great tone to everything. Honestly, it's really cool. It's just fantastic to be tied to the project.
Oh, very kind words. One thing I want to ask you quickly before we move on to closing kind of thoughts. Given this is specifically a younger Bruce Wayne, this is a Bruce Wayne who we're established he's like 22, 21. He's in his first year, so people know about him, but not everyone really gets what he says, like you say. He's not a public figure right now. He's not. The Justice League isn't a thing or anything. He's very much urban legend Batman. Did that register into your way you're performing him compared to if he, say, was a more experienced Batman?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I feel like Batman, especially the one that we've all kind of come to be accustomed to, was this seasoned crime fighter. We've all been accustomed to how he performs. The most that we've seen in him as a quote unquote up and coming kind of figure was in Batman Begins. And even then, they kind of fast forward through his naivete as a crime fighter. While in this, it's great because it's like he knows what he wants to be and he knows what he needs to be, but he's still kind of figuring it out for himself. He is still figuring out, even as a master detective, what is the right move? What is the right course of action? And I think what works really beautifully is that Alfred is such a great beacon for him. He's such a great rock for him to anchor himself to. And he's not scared to admit that he may be seeing things incorrectly. And I like that about him. It's not an immaturity to Batman. It's far from that. It's more of I am still trying to figure out what Batman is supposed to be. I have the base idea, but I'm still fine tuning it, and that's very much where he's at now. And I felt that a lot in the script. He in some of the scripts, as the listeners will see, he's very cocksure of what he's supposed to do. But then in others, you very much see him question himself, and I think that's fantastic because it shows his humanity. He's not perfect. He is somebody who's doing something that nobody has done in Gotham City, and he's still not even sure if what he's doing is right. And I think that's fantastic. It makes him so much more human and so much more relatable as a person. And I think that really does shine through. And it helps in my own performance. Because if he was just cocky Batman all the time, that's boring. But having a Batman who really second guesses himself sometimes, I think is a very new take on Batman, and a refreshing one at that.
It was very, very eloquently put and very kind words. Given all of that, then, where can people find you, Rob?
Well, I am quite easily attainable and easily Googleable, as I like to say. But if you hit at Rob Moreira, that's Rob with 2 B's, and my last name, Moreira, you'll find me on Twitter with that. You'll find me on Instagram with that. You'll also find me on Facebook with that. I do also have a YouTube channel. So if you search for Rob Moreira, you'll find my YouTube channel there. I got a lot of different things on there. I have a series where I do give tips to voice actors. So if you are an aspiring voice actor, check those out. I also put a lot of my work that I do in the commercial world on there as well. So you can see what brand I may have voiced that you may have listened to. You'll probably see those there too. And then I also have a lot of fan stuff that I've created myself that I put in there as well. But I'm easy to find. Check me out. And if you want to go to the end all, be all place to find me, go to robmoreiravo.com.
And all the links for those will be in the description of this video and whatever other platforms Echoes of the Night ends up being played on. At the time of this recording, we're still figuring those out, but YouTube for sure was going to be in the description. With all that said, folks, I hope you've enjoyed listening to this as much as I have, and are sure to check out again next week when we'll be back with another episode, and then after that, another interview with a writer or voice actor. Who knows? You'll decide. Well, we've already decided, but we'll make you think you decide. Let us know in the comments what you thought, and as always, have fun, geeks.